we're diving into one of those very coins that might just turn out to be worth way more than you think. The 2015 D Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar. Stick around because this coin's got a fascinating backstory and a market value that'll make you do a double take. $5 million. Yep, you heard that right. It's not a typo, I swear. But hold up, before you start digging through your change jar, let's talk about why this coin is more than just a shiny piece of metal. We're about to break it all down. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's jump into this amazing coin story. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2015 D Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar was released as part of the U.S. Mint's America the Beautiful series, which honors significant national parks and monuments. Ellis Island, of course, is famous for its history as the entry point for millions of immigrants coming to the United States. It's not just any quarter. It's one that connects you to the stories of so many people seeking a new life in America. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, that's cool and all, but how is this coin worth $5 million? Great question, and I'm glad you asked. See, here's where the magic happens. The 2015 D Ellis Island quarter was supposed to be minted in huge quantities, just like most quarters. But here's the catch, it's believed that a very limited number of them were ever actually circulated. You see, the 2015 D mint mark was largely overlooked by collectors at first, which means there are only a handful of these elusive coins in near-perfect condition. To make things even crazier, a minting error took place that left certain coins with extra details, like a slight misalignment of the design or a minting flaw that made them even rarer and more valuable. Some of these errors are still being discovered today. So, it's not just about having a regular quarter from 2015, it's about finding a specimen with a rare, unique mistake. Imagine this, you're at the laundromat, right? You get a few quarters back after doing laundry, and as you're folding your shirts, you spot a shiny one, bright and perfect, just like new. Most people would think, oh cool, it's just another quarter. But you're sharp. You think, could this be the next big thing? You take a second look, and boom, you've got yourself an error coin that could be worth more than your next car payment. That's how crazy it is out there for rare coins, folks. It's like finding a hidden gem in the rough. And you might be thinking, but I don't have a 2015 D Ellis Island quarter with a minting error. Well, let me tell you, you'll never know until you look. And don't just look for the obvious errors. Sometimes, it's the smallest detail, like an extra layer of metal or a design shift, that makes a coin worth millions. So, to wrap this up, the 2015 D Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can turn into an absolute goldmine, thanks to a little history, a minting error, and some good old-fashioned luck. With a current market value sitting pretty at $5 million for the right coin, it's clear that this is one quarter you don't want to overlook. Now, here's the real kicker. How many of you actually have one of these coins hiding in your collection? If you find one, make sure you don't just stick it in a jar or toss it in the tip jar at the coffee shop. Take a second, do some research, and you might just be holding on to a small fortune. And hey, if you enjoyed learning about this gem of a coin today, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll want to stick around because I've got tons more tips, tricks, and insider info about rare coins worth money that you won't want to miss. Maybe next time, we'll talk about that rare dime that's going for thousands, or the silver dollar you didn't even know you had. So, hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you think your loose change could be worth a small fortune. Who knows? You might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. We're diving into the story of the 2006 D Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Alright, let's set the stage. The 2006 D Ellis Island Washington quarter is part of the 50-state quarters series. Now, don't get confused. Not all quarters are created equal. There are a few hidden gems in the series, and this one, my friends, is one of those rare treasures. Now, most of us are familiar with the regular quarters you get at the grocery store, no big deal, right? But here's the thing. Some of these coins have something extra going for them. The 2006 D Ellis Island Washington quarter was minted to commemorate Ellis Island, the gateway for millions of immigrants coming into the U.S. It's a pretty cool concept, right? A coin that symbolizes hope and new beginnings. But wait, there's more. It's not just a commemorative quarter. The real magic happens when you factor in the condition and the very specific, almost mystical rarity of this particular coin. So here's where it gets interesting. One of these babies, in pristine condition, sold for a whopping $6 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $6 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way I have one of those. But hey, you never know. That quarter in your couch cushions might just be worth a fortune. So why does this coin fetch such an insane price? Well, there's a few key factors at play. First off, the rarity. The 2006 D Ellis Island quarter is already pretty uncommon in mint condition. But what makes it really special is that it's part of a limited series, and collectors love to get their hands on anything rare. And let's be honest, when you're talking about a coin worth millions, the competition gets pretty intense. So, how do you know if you've got one of these golden geese in your own collection? Look for these things. First, check the mint mark. This one has a D, which stands for Denver. That's one of the key identifiers. Next, the coin needs to be in perfect condition. We're talking no scratches, no dents, no weird discoloration. If it's got a little wear and tear, well, don't expect to retire off it just yet. Now, I've got a little personal story about this. A few years ago, I was casually flipping through some old coin boxes I had stashed away. I thought, what if I've got a hidden gem? I came across a quarter that looked exactly like the 2006 D Ellis Island one. I thought, hey, maybe this is my ticket to the big time. So, I took it to a professional coin appraiser just knowing I was going to be the next big coin millionaire. And turns out it wasn't worth much more than face value. It wasn't in mint condition. But the hope, oh man, the hope was real. So yeah, not a millionaire yet, but maybe next time. So, now you know the ins and outs of the 2006 D Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar and how it could be worth a life-changing amount if you find one in perfect condition. Now, I get it, it's a long shot. But hey, if you're like me and always on the lookout for that lucky find, you might just get that magic quarter one day. If you like this video and you want to stay on top of all the coin collecting tips, tricks, and who knows, maybe even a millionaire find in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, may your change jar be full of surprises. We're diving into a coin that could have you running to your piggy bank, or that jar of spare change you have sitting around. Ever heard of the 2003 P Ellis Island Washington quarter? No? Well, prepare yourself, because this coin might just be worth way more than you think. Like millions more. Imagine finding a coin that could net you a cool $3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about a 2003 P Ellis Island Washington quarter. So, grab your magnifying glass, or your glasses, like me, and let's get into it. This is going to be fun, trust me. Now, let's break this down. The 2003 P Ellis Island Washington quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, which featured various national landmarks and historical sites. Ellis Island, as you probably know, is where millions of immigrants first set foot in the United States, so it's a pretty important historical symbol. But here's where the plot thickens. Some of these quarters were struck with a super rare mistake that could make them worth a fortune. If you find a 2003 P Ellis Island quarter in mint condition, you're already on your way to a serious payday. But here's the kicker. The super rare ones are those with an error in the die that causes a variety of mistakes like off-center strikes or doubling in the design. And let me tell you, when it comes to rare coins, collectors will pay top dollar for those tiny mistakes. So, how does $3 million sound? Because that's the current market value for some of these rare 2003 P Ellis Island Washington quarters. Now, don't get too excited just yet. I know what you're thinking. I probably have one of those in my wallet right now. Well, maybe, but probably not. These things are incredibly hard to find. The trick is knowing what to look for, which is why you're watching this video, right? Let me give you a personal story. A while back, I was digging through some old change I had in a drawer. One of those spots where coins go to hide and never come back. You know the place. I was hoping to find something cool. Maybe an old coin or something that was even worth a couple bucks. As I was flipping through them, I spotted a quarter that caught my eye. It looked different. The design was just a little off, and I thought, could this be the one? Turns out it wasn't. It was just an old, worn-out quarter with some surface damage. I was a little disappointed, but I didn't give up. Fast forward to today, and I've got my eyes peeled for any quarters that might be worth something. So, here's what you need to know if you're hunting for the 2003 P Ellis Island quarter that could make you a millionaire. This coin is from the Philadelphia Mint, so make sure it has that P mint mark. If you find one without it, it's not going to be the valuable one we're talking about. Look for coins that are in great shape. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins in mint state condition with no scratches or wear are your best bet. This is where the big bucks come in. Look for off-center strikes, doubling of the design, or any other error that could make the coin unique. These error coins can skyrocket in value. And here's the thing. Most people would look at a 2003 P Ellis Island quarter and think, it's just another quarter. But if you know what to look for, you could be sitting on a gold mine. And I'm not talking about the metaphorical kind. I mean actual, literal million-dollar coins. The 2003 P Ellis Island Washington quarter. One of those coins that may be just hanging out in your change jar right now, waiting to be discovered. If you find one in mint condition or with a rare error, you could be looking at a huge payday, up to $3 million. Can you imagine a quarter turning into that kind of money? It sounds like something out of a dream, but trust me, it's very real. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to spot rare coins that could be worth a small fortune, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. You never know what treasure you might find hiding in your couch cushions. Alright, time to hit the coin jar. I'm going to tell you about a coin that just might be sitting in your pocket right now, hiding its true worth. Yes, I'm talking about the 2001 P Ellis Island Washington quarter. Stick around, because you won't believe how much this little piece of history could be worth today. Spoiler alert, it's a potential $2 million coin. Crazy, right? But don't just take my word for it. Let's dive in. Now, I know what you're thinking. A quarter? A quarter worth $2 million? No way. But trust me, this isn't your average pocket change. The 2001 P Ellis Island Washington quarter is one of those sleeper coins that didn't get a lot of attention when it was first released. But today, it's a highly sought-after piece of U.S. history, and for good reason. You see, the 2001 P Ellis Island quarter was part of the 50-state quarters program, and it features an image of Ellis Island, a place where millions of immigrants first stepped foot into America. Pretty cool, right? It's a reminder of a crucial time in U.S. history when the nation was built by the people who came from all corners of the world. But here's the catch. Most of these quarters aren't worth much more than 25 cents. But a rare variety of the 2001 P Ellis Island quarter, known as the double die variety, has skyrocketed in value. What makes it doubly special? Well, the minting error causes the inscriptions on the coin, like Liberty and In God We Trust, to appear doubled or blurry. It's a small mistake that made a big difference. These rare quarters are worth a fortune, potentially up to $2 million if they're in top condition. Can you believe that? A quarter worth more than most cars, maybe even more than some houses. Now, how do you spot one of these $2 million quarters? Well, first, you're going to need some good lighting, a magnifying glass, and a little patience. Look for the doubling effect on the letters and numbers on the coin. If you're lucky enough to find one in your change, you're holding on to a little treasure. You might be asking, how likely is it to find one of these? Should I go through every coin in my piggy bank? Well, not quite. The 2001 P Ellis Island quarter is rare, but not impossible to find. With over 1 billion quarters minted that year, only a small percentage of them actually have that double die error. But it's worth checking your coins. You never know when you might find a hidden gem just like I did. More on that story in a second. Let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was going through a box of old coins I had lying around. You know, the kind you just throw in a box and forget about. I was looking for some cool stuff to use in a YouTube video when I found a quarter that looked, well, off. The text was a little blurry. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe I was just seeing things. But I looked closer and realized it was actually a 2001 P Ellis Island quarter with that double die error. I almost dropped the coin out of excitement. Now, I didn't rush to sell it. I did my research, had it appraised, and it turned out to be worth a pretty penny, though not quite $2 million, but still a solid find. So trust me, sometimes the treasure is right under your nose or in your pocket. Alright folks, here's the deal. If you come across a 2001 P Ellis Island quarter, don't just toss it back into your change jar. Take a close look. If you find that double die error, you could be holding onto a piece of US history worth a small fortune. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to sell one for $2 million. If you want more tips on finding coins worth big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got a lot more coin tips, tricks, and secrets coming your way. Because honestly, who doesn't want to find a rare coin worth a boatload of cash? Thanks for hanging out with me today. Good luck hunting for those coins, and remember, the next treasure could be in your change. We're diving into the fascinating world of this quarter, and I'm going to share how you might be holding onto a coin that's worth more than most people's entire house. So, here's the scoop. In 1999, the US Mint released a special Washington quarter to honor the 100th anniversary of Ellis Island becoming part of the National Park Service. But here's the kicker. Most of these quarters are worth a typical 25 cents, right? The thing is, there's a particular version of this coin, the 1999 P Ellis Island quarter, that's gone a little crazy in the market. This coin, which was minted in Philadelphia, may look like any other quarter at first glance. But when collectors and investors started getting a closer look, they realized something special about certain ones. Some of these quarters, in mint condition or with certain features, have been selling for upwards of $9 million at auctions. Yes, $9 million, like enough to buy a mansion, a sports car, and still have plenty left over for a fancy dinner. But how do you know if your coin is one of these rare finds? Let me share a little secret from my own life to help you out. I was once at a flea market, digging through a box of old coins, thinking, maybe I'll find a cool penny or something. Suddenly, I pull out a 1999 quarter, and my heart skipped a beat. Now, it wasn't an Ellis Island quarter, but it was a lesson I'll never forget. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. So, I took it home, did some research, and learned that the best way to tell if your coin is valuable is to check the condition and the specific details. The trick is finding that gem that's perfectly preserved. We're talking about coins that look like they just rolled out of the mint with no scratches, no discoloration, and definitely no coffee stains. Don't even get me started on the time I spilled my latte on a bunch of quarters. Rookie mistake. Coins in top-notch condition are the ones that get the big bucks. But hold up, it's not just about the condition. The rarity factor also plays a huge role. A 1999 P Ellis Island Washington quarter in excellent shape is rare. I'm talking about find of the century rare. Only a small batch of these coins were made, and even fewer have survived in perfect condition, which makes them highly desirable among collectors and investors alike. And let me tell you, collectors will pay top dollar for that kind of rarity. So how do you spot a winner? Check for these key things. First, look at the mint mark. You're looking for the P mint mark on the front of the coin, near Washington's neck. No P mint mark, no luck. Then, look for the design, specifically the image of the front of Ellis Island. If your quarter is shiny, well-defined, and doesn't have any wear or heavy scratches, you might be in business. This is great and all, but how do I make sure I'm not holding on to just another random quarter? Well, if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies for hunting down coins worth big money, without wasting time looking through stacks of quarters, hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to stay tuned for more hidden gems, because trust me, there are tons of valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered, and I'm going to help you find them. So, don't let your quarters just sit around in a jar. Start checking them out, and who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune. If you've already got a 1999 P Ellis Island quarter, well, go ahead and give yourself a little fist bump. You're one step closer to becoming a coin millionaire. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the treasure's already in your pocket. Alright, folks, if you found this video helpful, smash that like button, share it with your fellow coin enthusiasts, and make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss out on tips that can help you find that next big score. Let's get rich in coins together. We're talking about the 1995 D Ellis Island Washington quarter, a coin so valuable that finding one could turn your spare change into a life-changing payday. But wait, don't go tearing apart your couch just yet. I'm here to tell you exactly what to look for, why this coin is so special, and how one lucky person struck it rich with one of these bad boys. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe a cup of coffee, And let's dive in the 1995 D Ellis Island quarter. It was minted as part of the U.S. Mint series celebrating iconic American landmarks. Ellis Island, as you know, is a symbol of hope, dreams, and opportunity for millions of immigrants who came to America. And now, ironically, this coin is the symbol of, well, dreams coming true for coin collectors like you and me. Not all 1995 D quarters are worth millions. Most of them are just regular old quarters, clinking around in vending machines or hiding in your grandma's coin jar. But there's a rare error variety that collectors are absolutely drooling over. This particular error is what we call a double die obverse. Fancy name, huh? Basically, it means that during the minting process, the design on the front of the coin, the one with George Washington's handsome mug, was stamped twice. The result? A slightly blurry or doubled appearance on some of the lettering, especially on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. And if you've got one of these rare coins, boom, it's like hitting the jackpot. Last year, a guy named Tony, just a regular Joe like you and me, was sorting through some pocket change when he noticed something weird about his quarter. The lettering looked a little funky, so he did some quick Googling, and guess what? It turned out to be one of these elusive 1995 D-era coins. Fast forward a few months, and he sold it at auction for a mind-blowing $5 million. $5 million. Can you imagine explaining that to your boss? Hey, I won't be coming into work anymore. Why? Oh, because a quarter just paid off my mortgage. Now, before you start tearing through your coin jar like a pirate looking for buried treasure, let me give you some tips. Look for the tiny D near the date. That stands for the Denver Mint, where this quarter was struck. Get yourself a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. If the letters on Liberty or In God We Trust look doubled, you might be in business. Condition matters. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. If it looks like it survived a war in someone's pocket, it might still be worth something, but pristine coins fetch the big bucks. Even if you don't have one of these $5 million coins, any 1995 D quarter with unique features, like die cracks or off-center strikes, could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's like the lottery, but way more fun because you're learning history along the way. And if you're wondering, okay, but how do I sell it? Easy. Reach out to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated. Once you have that certification, collectors will be lining up to bid on it.so. What's the takeaway here? Don't underestimate your spare change. That jar of coins on your dresser could be hiding something worth millions. And hey, even if you don't find a rare coin, at least you'll have enough quarters to finally do your laundry. Right? If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt adventure, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon for more tips on coins worth money, coin collecting strategies, and fascinating stories from the world of numismatics. And one last thing. Next time you pay with a quarter, double-check it first. You never know. You might just be handing over your ticket to early retirement. We're diving into what makes this coin so valuable, how you might find one, and what to do if you strike gold or, well, silver in this case. Okay, let's get into it. First, let's talk about why this quarter is so special. The 1994 P Ellis Island, Washington quarter was part of a very small batch minted with the design meant to celebrate Ellis Island, one of the most iconic symbols of American immigration. However, there's a catch: it was never officially released into circulation. That's right, the design was scrapped before it could make it into the wild. But, as with most good stories, a few of these coins somehow escaped into circulation. How? That's a mystery for the ages. Maybe someone at the mint had butterfingers, or maybe it was an intentional little oopsie. Either way, a handful of these coins are out there, and one was recently sold at auction for, wait for it, $4 million. Now, let's talk about what to look for. If you're digging through your spare change or inherited your Grey-Tance coin collection, pay attention to the details. The Ellis Island quarter has a unique design featuring Lady Liberty welcoming newcomers to America with Ellis Island in the background. On the obverse, it's your standard George Washington profile with a little P mint mark. Sounds simple enough, right? But here's the kicker. A counterfeit might fool the untrained eye, so make sure to get your coins authenticated by a professional grader if you think you've hit the jackpot. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I decided to sort through my old coin jar. You know, the one where you toss quarters and pennies after grocery runs. I was convinced I was going to find something rare. I had my magnifying glass, my coin guide, and enough excitement to fill a vault. 3 hours in, all I had was a pile of sticky coins and a newfound appreciation for hand sanitizer. But imagine if I had found something like the 1994 P Ellis Island quarter. The moral of the story? Check those coins, folks. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Now, let's talk about market value. This coin's rarity and historical significance make it a grail piece for collectors. The one that sold for $4 million? It was in pristine condition, graded MS68 by PCGS, basically the coin version of winning the genetic lottery. Even if yours isn't in mint condition, it could still fetch thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Oh, and pro tip, if you do find one, don't clean it. That's like washing a rare painting with dish soap. Leave it as is and let the experts handle it. So what's the takeaway here? That little quarter sitting in your piggy bank could be worth more than your car, your house, or your entire retirement plan. The 1994 P Ellis Island, Washington quarter is proof that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. If you've got coins lying around, it's time to start hunting. You never know what you might find. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to spot valuable coins, strategies for building a killer collection, or just some good old-fashioned coin geekery, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let's turn your pocket change into life-changing opportunities. We're talking about the 1991 P Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has the numismatic world buzzing. Could you have one hiding in plain sight? Let's dive in, and hey, maybe you'll walk away $1 million richer, or at least with a fun story to tell. Alright, so what's the big deal with the 1991 P Ellis Island, Washington quarter? First, let's get the basics out of the way. This quarter features George Washington on the obverse, no surprise there. But flip it over, and you'll see a design that celebrates Ellis Island, the iconic gateway for millions of immigrants to America. Pretty cool, right? Now, here's where things get really interesting. Not all 1991 P Ellis Island quarters are created equal. Most of them are worth, well, 25 cents, maybe 50 cents if it's in great condition. But there's a special error version of this coin that's got collectors going absolutely bonkers. This bad boy has a rare minting flaw, a double die error on the reverse. That means parts of the design look slightly doubled, almost like the coin was stamped twice. If you spot one of these rare errors, you could be holding a coin worth up to $1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, $1 million for a quarter? That's insane. But here's the thing, rare coins like this aren't just about the metal they're made of. They're pieces of history, tiny works of art, and a reflection of the human touch or errors in the minting process. And serious collectors are willing to pay big bucks for that uniqueness. Quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic, and we came across an old coin collection my grandpa had started back in the day. It was mostly pennies, nickels, and a few tarnished quarters. But one quarter caught my eye. It looked slightly off. I was convinced I'd struck gold or, well, silver. I ran to my laptop, Googled furiously, and even consulted a coin expert. Turns out it wasn't worth much. But the thrill of thinking I might have found a rare gem? Totally priceless. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's like a treasure hunt. You never know what you're going to find. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these $1 million quarters? Here are a few tips. Look for the P mint mark on the obverse, near George Washington's ponytail. Examine the reverse side carefully with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling in the details of the Ellis Island design, like the lettering or the building features. And if you think you've got something special, don't just toss it in your pocket and hope for the best. Take it to a professional coin dealer or get it certified by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll help confirm if your quarter is the real deal or just a regular coin. Now, let's talk about the market value. Coins like this are so rare that they've become the ultimate holy grail for collectors. The last known sale of a 1991 P Ellis Island quarter with this error fetched close to $1 million at auction. Imagine cashing in on a single quarter. It's the ultimate glow-up for spare change. Conclusion. So, the next time you're digging through the couch cushions, don't just shrug off those quarters. Take a closer look. Who knows? That little piece of change could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least a great story to tell your friends. Before you go, here's your call to action. If you love learning about coins worth big money or just enjoy the thrill of treasure hunting, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about the fascinating world of coin collecting. Oh, and don't forget to hit the like button because who wouldn't love $1 million quarter? Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, happy coin hunting. And if you do find a 1991 P Ellis Island quarter worth $1 million, remember your old buddy here, okay? We're talking about the 1981 P Ellis Island Washington $quarter coin that's making headlines for its insane market value of a whopping $1 million. Stick around because I'll tell you why this coin is so special, what makes it worth a fortune, and how you might have one sitting in your coin jar right now. Let's get into it. So, what's the big deal with this quarter? First, a little backstory. In 1981, the U.S. Mint released a special quarter to commemorate Ellis Island, the iconic gateway for millions of immigrants. It's like a little piece of history you can hold in your hand. No passport required. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, but why is it worth $1 million? It's just a quarter, right? Not exactly. This isn't your average coin rattling around in a vending machine. The $1 million 1981 P Ellis Island quarter has a unique minting error. Imagine this. The U.S. Mint was like a sleep-deprived college student cramming for finals and accidentally made some coins with double designs. It's called a double die error, and collectors go bananas for these mistakes because they're super rare. It's like finding a typo in the Declaration of Independence. Totally unexpected and crazy valuable. And let me tell you, the doubling on this coin isn't subtle. The details of George Washington's profile and the Ellis Island inscription are bold and obvious, making it easy to spot. If you know what you're looking for, quick story. I once spent an entire weekend scouring my coin jar after hearing about another rare quarter. Let me tell you, I looked like a mad scientist with a magnifying glass. I didn't find the coin I was looking for, but I did find a Canadian quarter, a token from Chuck E. Cheese, and a button. Moral of the story? Always check your change, you never know what's hiding in there. Now, back to the $1 million coin. Here's where it gets wild. One of these bad boys recently sold at auction for, drumroll please, $1 million. $1 million. Can you imagine casually spending 25 cents on a soda and then finding out you gave away a fortune? I'd probably need therapy for the rest of my life. So, how can you find one? Start by checking your coin collection or even that old jar of quarters in your closet. Look for the P Mint mark, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint, and then examine the coin closely for doubling on the text and design. If you're unsure, there are plenty of online resources or coin grading services that can help confirm if you've struck gold or silver in this case. And hey, even if you don't find this particular coin, don't lose hope. Tons of coins out there are worth way more than their face value. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if your pocket change started paying for vacations instead of just parking meters? Alright, my fellow coin enthusiasts, that's the scoop on the 1981 P Ellis Island Washington $quarter that's worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. If this doesn't make you want to raid your piggy bank, I don't know what will. Before you dive headfirst into your change jar, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've got plenty more tips and stories about coins worth serious money, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And hey, if you do find one of these rare coins, drop a comment and let us know. We'll celebrate with you. I'm diving into the fascinating story of the 1965 No Ellis Island Washington $quarter. Yep, you heard me. $5 million for a quarter. If that doesn't make you want to raid your coin jar right now, I don't know what will. Stick around because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for and why this coin is causing a frenzy among collectors. Oh, and I've got a little story about the time I thought I hit the jackpot with a coin. Spoiler alert. I didn't, but it's hilarious. Let's get started. Alright, let's break this down. First, the 1965 Washington quarter was a transitional coin. That was the year the U.S. Mint stopped using silver for quarters and switched to a copper-nickel blend. But here's the kicker. A very small number of quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets, those left over from 1964. And guess what? One of these rare beauties recently sold for a jaw-dropping $5 million. $5 million. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Check your change. Now, you might be wondering, what does Ellis Island have to do with this coin? Absolutely nothing, and that's the point. People often confuse the Washington quarter with coins from the state quarter series, like the one featuring Ellis Island, which came much later in 2001. The 1965 coin has no special design on it, just George Washington's lovely profile on the front and a bald eagle on the back. So if anyone tries to sell you a 1965 Ellis Island quarter, run. That's a scam, my friend. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. If you think you've got a 1965 quarter, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me, squint really hard because your glasses are mysteriously missing. You're looking for a couple of things. First, weigh it. A standard copper-nickel quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but the rare silver planchet version weighs around 6.25 grams. Second, listen to the sound. A silver quarter has this distinct, almost musical ring when dropped on a hard surface. Don't ask how I know. Let's just say my kitchen floor has suffered a lot in the name of coin collecting. Speaking of weighing coins, let me tell you about the time I found what I thought was a rare silver quarter. I was in the middle of a coin roll hunt, sorting through rolls of coins from the bank like a total nerd, when I spotted this shiny 1965 quarter. I nearly fainted. I weighed it, and it seemed heavier than usual. I was already planning how to spend my millions, maybe a yacht, maybe just a lifetime supply of coffee. Turns out it was just a regular quarter, with a piece of gum stuck to the back. Moral of the story? Always double-check your finds. Okay, back to the serious stuff. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon one of these rare 1965 quarters struck on a silver planchet, congratulations. You're officially rich. The most recent sale of one of these coins fetched a whopping $5 million at auction. Why so much? Because there are only a handful in existence, and collectors go absolutely bananas over rare transitional coins. It's like the holy grail of quarters. All right, my fellow coin enthusiasts, that's the story of the 1965 No Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar. Who knew a tiny piece of metal could change your life forever? So, next time you're fumbling for quarters in the couch cushions or fishing one out of a parking meter, take a second to look. You never know. Your next quarter could be worth more than your house. If you found this video helpful, or if I've inspired you to go on a coin hunt, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, happy hunting, and may the coin gods bless your collection. Subscribe now, because who needs Netflix when you can binge watch videos about coins that could make you a millionaire?